everyone remembers these guys. Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore, Rabbit and Owl. But I don't remember them being quite so scary, quite so big and quite so violent. Produced, directed, written and edited by Rhys Frake Waterfield, we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the first installment of the Twisted Childhood universe, where we see our much-loved childhood characters twisted, depraved, violent, and on the big screen. What more could you ask for? And this is my review on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This film follows Pooh and Piglet, who have become feral murderers after Christopher Robin left them in the 100-acre woods to go off to school and college and have a life. The harsh winter hit and they had to fend for themselves, so the first port of call? Become cannibals and eat eel. And after that they got the taste for blood, and any human they see, now they have human issues because of Christopher Robin, they decide to murder and torture and just have some fun. 5 years after leaving college, Christopher Robin comes back to the 100-acre woods to show his fiancée his childhood friends, because even after leaving them, they will still love me, right? Now with this film, I have mixed reviews for this film. Well, no, they're not even mixed reviews. I'm not going to be too harsh. This film was done on a $50,000 budget. Whole independent British film. The masks themselves cost $70. So first off out there, their masks are... you can clearly tell they're people in a mask, which I understand. So I'm not going to judge too harshly, because maybe the next one and the future ones, when they get bigger budgets, and they might get better at this stuff. I don't know. Don't hate me. But it was a financial success and made $5.2 million at the box office. So they must have done something right. And I think this is one of those films that's going to be sort of like them cheesy cult classics, kind of like the really bad Wrong Turn movies. Not all of them are bad, by the way, just some of them that as went on got worse. And it's just kind of I think they're just a bit of fun. I want to point out, right, that the first 5 minutes of this film, if that, wasn't too bad. The animated prologue that we had with the narration, I was actually really intrigued by. I really liked the animated style of drawing, and it set up your characters. So you had Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, their friend Christopher Robin. They played together. But before we go into that, let's just point out, right, that this kid went into the woods and played with what they are calling half human, half animal mutants. What on earth? How did we get half animal, half human mutants? So you have a pig and a human, a bear and a human, and a donkey and a human? I'm so confused as to how that happened, and I don't want to know, but I do want to know. Did a bear and a human, did pig and so the prologue was fine, and it set up the film that Christopher Robin came into the woods and met these mutant creatures and befriended them. They set up this little camp, just like we see in the books and the TV shows and the old movies. They all had lots of fun, but then Christopher Robin grew up and he had to leave for school and for college, so he left them. And then winter came and they basically were starving, so it was, right, last resort, let's eat eel. Now, I just want to point out that me and my partner were watching this, right, and we paused it when we found out that they became cannibals and ate eel. And then you have the little stick with Eeyore's tail on it, R.I.P. Eeyore. And the animated scene where Eeyore's cowering in the corner and the others are just hovering over him ready to eat him, justice for Eeyore, hashtag justice for Eeyore. That was traumatizing. The whole film, I just had to keep pausing it for every couple of minutes, oh my god, they ate Eeyore. Poor Eeyore. Can we not? Eeyore! That was so traumatic. It's so disturbing. I was right, hold on, this is going somewhere I didn't think it was going to go. I'm getting into this. But justice for Eeyore. There has to be a thing. Let's hashtag this, put it on Twitter, put it everywhere on your socials, hashtag justice for Eeyore. One of the things I did notice is that they didn't have all the characters, but I did look this up, and apparently when they filmed Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, it had only been at the time Pooh and Piglet that had gone into the public domain, so they couldn't legally use any of the other characters. But now I think it's Tigger and possibly Owl that have gone into public domain, so they might be in future films. I haven't seen number 2 yet, so they might even be in that, and I don't know. But I'm going to get around to getting it and watching it, and I will review that as well. So that's why not all the characters were in there. So anyway, back to the beginning of the movie. I was enjoying it, Justice for Eel. Christopher Robin comes in with his fiancée to show him his childhood friends because he thinks they're still going to be friendly with him and they're just going to be there and like, oh, Christopher, hi, dude. Turns out, no. They're feral, they're monsters, and they hate you, Christopher Robin. So they kidnap Christopher Robin and they murder his wife. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked the kill, but the CGI blood spatter. Oh no. This CGI blood spatter, and then there's that. Yeah, there's that, and it's there's that. That's all I can say. I don't know. It completely took me out at the moment. I literally was like, oh, okay. Just when I thought it was going to be good, no. And then from that moment onwards, it got worse. So I'd say it was like, out of 10, we were at like a 5 at this point now. Like, it was going to be one of those really cheesy slasher films. I wasn't expecting much. I was like, okay, fair enough. Bad blood spatter. I mean, at least the kills are going to be cool, right? You know? Maybe some Winnie the Pooh inspired kills, getting smashed over the head with a honey pot or something like that. I thought it'd be really creepy if they had like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet say their phrases, and obviously in a creepier like man voice. But that would be like really creepy because that would then kind of like proper bring out the childhood memories that we have of Pooh and Piglet and make them really creepy. So then you'd be like, oh, shivers and stuff like that. So then we follow these like, what is it, 5 girls? One of them has a backstory about being stalked, which I feel is like really irrelevant. But because she's stalked and she's traumatized from all this, they go to this really remote house by the 100-acre woods to stay. Makes no sense. There is no story to this film. Don't understand it. You have opportunities with this film. Like, it's Pooh and Piglet, people. And the whole idea that they hate humans because Christopher Robin left them in the 100-acre woods to fend for themselves, I think works. If done right. This whole story with these 5 random girls, one with a tragic last few months, is really irrelevant. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet decide they see them and they want to kill them. One of them is in a hot tub and they don't even do that right because certain things you need in slashers that if you've got, it's going to work. Gore, blood, boobs. 3 main things of slasher movies that will make it work. Blood, gore and boobs. They didn't have boobs. Now don't get me wrong, I don't really like seeing full nudity in horror movies anyway, it's not my thing, but they didn't even do that. The kills weren't creative. They weren't anything we hadn't already seen in movies like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. So every time someone died, I was like, The characters weren't memorable. Unfortunately, the acting wasn't great. It was too cheese. Like, well, it wasn't even cheese. That's offensive to cheese, really. It's more like they were just cardboard cutouts, and I get it, it's a small budget, it's a small independent film, but like, I've recently just reviewed Older Gods and Escape, which were independent films done on small budgets, and they were great. This was terrible. The actors are generic, they're not memorable, I don't even remember their names. I did write down who they were played by, but even that I forgot, and it was irrelevant to the video. They all looked the same, they all acted the same. One minute it was like, I'm scared. The next minute it was like, let's go fight. And then it was like, oh my god. Like, make up your mind. Are you going to be like the final girl or you're not? You're going to be the scaredy girl. One of the kills, right, was in the swimming pool. Now, I did not get this scene. Why are you in the pool, walking away, not swimming, walking in the pool because you could walk in the pool because it's not deep. Piglet's jumped in the pool and is walking with this thing and he's just going, Like, he's not hitting. Like, why not just get out the fucking pool? Go to the side of the pool, get out. Even go back around and fucking jump on the bastard and drown him. Sorry for my language. No! And then all of a sudden, he manages to hit her, and it's CGI blood spatter again. Like, so underwhelming. I was there the whole time, like, most of this film just thinking to myself, justice for Eel. Like, this is the worst film ever, but justice for Eel. That was the most terrifying part of this movie, was the fact that Eel got eaten. Like, poor Eel. Anywho, so some died in the house. Then we went back to the 100-acre woods where they took some with them. And Christopher Robin's tied up, so we're going to try and help him escape with the remaining girls that are alive. Then some girls down the way. And then there's, I think, 2 girls left at this point. And they run out onto the road. So and they find a truck of hillbillies. That's the only word I can explain them, is hillbillies. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. And they're like, help us, help us, help us, we need to go. And then Winnie the Pooh comes out onto the road. And they think that this thing is normal for a start. And they're going to go beat it up. One's got like a bottle. One's got a crowbar. I think one's got a bat. One's just using his fists or something. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. They're all talking and it's terrible acting. Like it's worse than like year 7 drama class. And they're all like bigging themselves up. Like, what are you doing like to these girls? You scaring these girls, and they're all circled. It reminded me very much of in Halloween Kills when the whole street decides to beat up Michael, but worse. So like they all take it in turns to hit him. Like they're going around the circle and stuff, and Pooh's getting bad. So apparently this human mutant bear thing is indestructible because it's getting hit left and right and nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden he grows. Now I know what the point of this is the fact that he's intimidating. So all of a sudden he's so intimidating, and the fact that nothing took him out, that he's like overpowering these men. So I get what it was meant to go for, but what it looked like is that he turned into a giant. Because they're all just looking up, and then you go back a bit and it's giant Winnie the Pooh, and I'm just like, what is going on? And anyway, he kills them. Again, generic kill scenes. CGI blood spatter, nothing to write home about. He kills one of the other girls, and then Christopher Robin saves the other girl, and then I don't know, something happens, and then the girl gets killed, and it's just Christopher Robin watching Pooh brutally murder this last girl, and then that's the end of it. That was the end of the 90 minutes of my life I will never get back. I've watched worse. I can say that. There are films I've watched that I've turned off like halfway through and just been like, no, not doing it, not watching it. The Mummy 2017 with Tom Cruise being one of them. That was awful. Turned that off not even halfway through, after about 20 minutes. But with this film, I wasn't expecting much. Thought you could do some stuff with it to make it really creepy. The Pooh and Piglet didn't even talk, which was like complete letdown. They just stared, which I thought you really had potential there to make them really creepy if they spoke and just like said certain phrases that we know from our own childhood. Did some like Pooh and Piglet-esque kills and stuff like that. You had some potential, but no, they completely dropped the ball on this one. Twitter hyped it up and everyone watched it, and it made so much money that now they have a sequel and the third film. They had 5 times the budget for their sequel, so hopefully, who knows, things like CGI blood spatter and the masks and stuff like that, maybe hiring of better actors, who knows, that might all be better. I'm holding my breath. And then we've also got Bambi the Reckoning to come out. I saw a teaser for that looked questionable. And Peter Pan, and apparently they want to do a Pinocchio, and it's like all Avengers-esque style childhood, but horror related. I just think they're going to be really cheesy, laughable films to watch, and I'm okay with watching them as like one-time off films. It's an experience in itself to say that I've watched Winnie the Pooh Blood and Horror. Blood and Horror? Blood and Honey, which I never thought I'd say anyway, to be honest. There's not much else to say about this film. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10. It was really bad. Sorry for this rant video, but I watched it the other day and I really wanted to talk about it because I was just like, what the fuck is this film? I haven't seen any reviews or anything like that about this film from when it came out, and all I saw was the positivity of like, oh, Winnie the Pooh's coming out and it's getting a sequel and it's getting a third film, and then the Twisted Childhood universe is coming out. As far as I was aware, it was all positive, so I thought, well, it's at least along the line of cheesy, fun time, C-movie horror with some really good kills. But no, I was completely wrong. I should have watched reviews first, and then I wouldn't have had to watch this film. But here we are. I've watched Blood and Honey, and my reviews are, it's a terrible film, but it made a lot of money. And in the film industry, I suppose a good film or a bad film doesn't really matter. It's about how much green you make. Well done for the people involved with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I suppose. So what did you guys think of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Have you seen number 2 yet? No spoilers yet though, please, because I need to watch that film. Are you excited for the Twisted Childhood universe? Or any of their films in particular? Let me know in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Till the next one, guys, stay horrid.